The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
528, Mark and Paul, Flakes Giving Week. It's our big one for the year. I don't know how well you watch the weather forecast, but this one particular year, this week, every year, I check it every day, and it's changed a little bit every day. Friday, 37, looks like it's going to be overcast. And Saturday, 36, overcast and a 24% chance of showers. We hope that's after we're gone.
That's still not too bad.
No.
You know, we've had a way worse, but still not too bad. But, you know, kids dress warmly.
Right. Before we went on, Paul was just talking about the Yellowstone Medical Center and the parking up there. And there's an article in the paper this morning. You know, they're gonna build a new St. V's, 14 stories tall, $1.4 billion. And in the article, it says the medical field and buildings employs about 20% of the population.
Yeah,
and
it's huge.
And nobody carpools, and very few people ride the bus to work.
You can do that job when you retire. You can be the valet up there, help people park, and
hey, give me a golf cart, and I can give you 8 to 5.
Yeah, gives people a ride to the door or something.
Well,
you know,
I had to go
pay you a few bucks an hour. You know, a little walking around money.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, and to be in a job where there's just, you know, your job is just really to socialize. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what's great about this job, and has been. They tried to micromanage us early on, but left us alone for years, and it's a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to Ortho, Montana for something on my leg one time, and Ortho, Montana is the same way. Mm-hmm. You cannot park close. And they had 2 valets working, but they were parking cars for the 80-year-old gals. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to hobble up there, but not going to let them park my pickup.
Yeah.
I'll read you the whole thing during the Facebook update, but we got a check coming for mentioning the Skyview Cheerleaders fundraiser tonight at Buffalo Wild Wings. You want to go in and have some dinner? Tell your server that you're there for the fundraiser. They will donate 15% of the proceeds to the cheer team.
There you go.
And that's good for carryout, too. And that place is always busy.
Well, there's only one, right?
Yeah.
That's the only one, isn't it, out there? Yeah.
They got one in Great Falls, which is the same way. I don't know about Missoula or Bozeman.
You know, I thought Red Robin was going to do a fundraiser for us for Flakesgiving again.
They are. I don't think they've done it yet.
Yeah, I don't think they have either, because usually we have somebody in.
Right. No, I think we're on the list.
Mm-hmm. Good. I had 13 degrees when I left the house this morning, and I got up, and I don't have my pickup in the garage yet because I still have my hot rod in there that I'm going to get out and drive this summer.
you want to bring it to my shop and just park it next to the one I don't drive?
It's in my garage sitting there waiting for its first drive of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't got to that yet, and then I move it out this time of year, put it down in the shop, cover it up with blankets and everything, keep it warm, and then I put my pickup in the garage. But so I got up this morning and looked, and it was 13 degrees, and looked out, I mean, there was heavy frost. Oh, God. So I had to run out there in my skivvies and start to pick up and let it warm up and stuff first. And I don't have to worry about that in my neighborhood. Some of you folks have to worry about it, starting your car and leaving it out in your driveway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about that. But,
Paul generally doesn't have a lot of people walking by his house.
No. Trick-or-treaters, stuff like that. But if they do decide to do it, I let them get about 300-400 yards away, because then they're going to be just like that coyote I got in the basement.
You're going to have them stuffed?
Where they look back like, there's no way you can hit me from here.
Uh-huh.
But, so I had to start it up. It was cold. It was cold this morning.
There's a lot of people that can't steal your pickup, Paul, because it's not an automatic.
Yeah, well, but, it's funny. I was telling Mark, too, we just got a wonderful donation from Rick and Martha, some Flakes Troopers, and they're going again this year. And last year, it was great because last year we had 2 Rick and Marthas.
What are the chances?
I know it. 2 couples that were Rick and Martha's, and they got to know each other. And so there's some pictures and stuff of Rick and Martha and Rick and Martha. But you got to guess which Rick is which Rick and which Martha is which Martha.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this year, we've got 2 different. I was looking at the itinerary because I like to try to learn some people's names, and there's two Webbers going, totally different, but 2 of them going. I'm surprised we've never had 2 Wilsons yet.
You would think.
You know, that's a pretty popular name.
Yeah, we've never had a Mrs. Wilson go.
And that is never, ever going to happen anyway, folks. So don't worry about that. Jiminy. But, and if you are going, Carol sent out an email yesterday about the document parties, so you may want to check your email. January 6th, we do that. And, but that's, I haven't heard from Deanna this week. How many days we got left, Wilson? We got to be 65 or so, don't we?
Yeah, right in there.
Yeah.
She's been working in North Dakota.
Oh, that's why.
And she's working 12-hour days, so.
Good. So.
61, she's listening.
Oh, good. Well, that's one woman that does, right?
I didn't say that.
Well, you might as well. You just made a comment about a Mrs. Wilson. You might as well keep it going. 61. Wow. Well, and we're 2 months away from inauguration today, which is good. That can't come soon enough for this country, folks. Whew, man.
You know, after your little bit about firing those missiles and everything, I watched a little national news yesterday. It didn't get much play. They were more concerned with one of Trump's appointees.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're all in bed together.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They control the narrative. They're all in bed together, folks. You know, years ago, many, many moons ago, and we saw this in the radio business, 30, 40 years ago, there were thousands and thousands of owners of media groups and things across the country. Now there's not. There's only really a handful of media groups that own all of the major outlets.
Yeah.
So they control the narrative, all of them. And here, the thing about it is, these groups, they all have money invested in things all over the place to where their media outlets have no listeners. They're going broke, but their entities throughout their portfolio keep them afloat. You know, Disney, for instance. How would you like to have Disney behind you? People like that. Big telecommunications companies. So they control the narrative. And by doing that, they can control you. That's what we like about First News. It's way different. But I mean, they can control you. Let me give you a couple for instances. Folks, look at the vaccine thing. How many media people around the country were giving you the truth about the COVID shot? How many? Not many. There were a few, but they were all aligned. They're all owned. The narrative came down. Remember, we called them KTV COVID here in Billings. They were awful, giving you wrong information, but they got it from their parent company, and this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to cover it. We got the hate mail when I told you about the vaccine and the company and the man behind the invention of it, how it would work, who shouldn't get it. We told you the information right from the guy that invented it. And because everybody had been brainwashed by what they saw, and it was collectively done through all their media outlets, everybody believed. Let me ask you folks this. How many of you people out there had to wipe your ass with something else besides toilet paper? No, I am dead serious. I'm trying to be delicate here. But remember the toilet paper shortage?
Right.
And everybody ran out and started buying toilet paper because the media, controlled by all these they were all telling everybody. How many of you were forced to wipe with something else during that 60-day, 90-day period besides toilet paper? No one.
No.
No one had to wipe with anything else but toilet paper.
Now, a lot of people had to stand in long lines to buy some more.
Stupid. Stores never ran out. They ran out because everybody ran there and bought everything that they had in their supply. So they brought more in. But there was never a shortage. Never. They control all that. And, you know, these companies, they all have investments. You know, these media companies, hell, they know where to put their money. They're into pharmaceutical companies and stuff. So, hell, why wouldn't you use your own group of stations to promote a vaccine when your company as a whole has money invested in these big pharmaceutical companies?
And that's things people don't know.
Makes no sense. So, you know, how many of these companies out there have money through their portfolio that are into all these green energy companies? Probably tons of them.
Right.
So they push all the climate change stuff on you to drive green energy. It's crazy. You know, that's why God gave people a brain, and but people can't use them. They let their phones do their thinking for you. They let these 23-year-old reporters do your thinking for you. You're not telling me anything that I don't know. But it's just the way it's become now. There was another one in the news today. Having this big climate conference, and of course, a climate conference, folks, is all about money. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. They want billions and trillions of dollars from the wealthy nations for their climate change agenda. Well, what do they do with that? They eat it. They travel it. They buy cars and homes with it. That's what they do with it. It's not lowering the temperature or raising it.
No.
No. And you people buy it. And these young skulls full of mush out there, you're as dumb as the rest of them. You're listening to these whack job professors spinning their rhetoric. They're stupid, dumb. This earth has gone through so many changes in the last 4.5 billion years. Radical changes, huge changes, far greater than everything that we're experiencing now. But no, it's because in the 1990s, some of the refrigerators had R12 in it, not R34.
Yeah, and we don't go back to that either, do we?
Never.
It's fun all month at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and Roadside Events Center. This Saturday, it's Glow Bingo with DJ Dave Austin, lights, music, and big prizes. Sunday, November 24th, more bingo action along with a cozy bread bowl with homemade soup. On Monday, the 25th, it's country music trivia, and on Friday, the 29th, grab a tag off the tree to help spread joy to Children in Huntley Project. Plus, don't miss prime rib Saturdays and sushi and sliders Sunday nights. Take the short drive to Huntley, the Blue Cat, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
They said the hurricanes this year had average wind speeds 18 miles an hour than the year before. And you know what? KTVQ, Color 8, everybody, they'll all spread that information. Mm-hmm. Well, great. How come you didn't do an article on that from the year before that? How come last year we didn't get an article on how greater the hurricane winds were than the year before that? We didn't get that last year, but we got it this year. Mm-hmm. Whatever they can use against you, and people are gullible and they buy this crap and they eat it up. Eat it up. Climate change. It goosed hurricane wind strength by 18 miles an hour. I can't. Here's another one, folks. You want another one? Now they call it the bomb cyclone. They picked that up about 2 years ago, and they call them now bomb cyclones and atmospheric rivers. Why do they call them that now? Because they're trying to trick you. These are known, as we all knew, for dozens and dozens of years. Everybody knew what the Pineapple Express was. We all heard about the weather term, the Pineapple Express, but that didn't have the impact. So these media groups and everybody get together and somebody decides and they change it and then everybody picks it up. So now we have the bomb cyclone, knocking out power and downing trees. It happens every year in the fall on the coast of California. It goes from California, Oregon into Washington. It brings heavy rain, major storms, just like every year. We get the Santa Ana winds every year, October, and they start sparking fires from power lines and things and burns California. It's been doing it. Nope. It's now called the bomb cyclone. It's the Pineapple Express. I remember going to Seattle in late October in the 80s, and it rained out there like crazy. I couldn't believe, I've never seen that much rain before. Snow in Snoqualmie Pass. That was the Pineapple Express. That's gone now. The Pineapple Express is now extinct. It was around for 4.5 billion years. But that's now extinct. That no longer exists. Now we've got a bomb cyclone. You see what they do? Excessive rainfall and gusty winds from a strong atmospheric river. See? That's the new one they put in there. It's not. It's the Pineapple Express. Comes in off the Pacific Ocean. Happens all the time. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows it. Nope. It's a bomb cyclone. They found a wind gust in Oregon yesterday that got up to 79 miles an hour. See? They looked up and down that freaking coast everywhere, and they found a spot in Oregon that's 79 miles an hour yesterday, folks. You could go to Mount Washington on the east side of the country, walk up on top. You should have been fencing with me yesterday. I had to walk a creek bottom yesterday, and the wind was blowing out. God dang, it was cold.
I'll
It was
bet.
cold yesterday down there, and I'm walking through creek water and stuff, And I thought, damn, this bomb cyclone is brutal. Winds in North Dakota now. They're expecting 5 inches of snow over there today. But you see what they do. The Weather Service is warning people on the West Coast about the danger of tall trees during high winds. You see what we've become?
Wow.
Isn't this something?
Yeah.
This is how stupid of a person we have made in this country. We have just made people dumb. We have dumbed them down. So stupid. So dumb. That's why I love what Trump's doing with our education department. He's going to give that money back to he's getting rid of it. Going to get it back to the states. Billions and billions and billions of dollars for colleges and schools. The federal student loan portfolio, which is a total rat screw. These people, tens of thousands of them added to our government bureaucracy, milking you and your tax dollars every day till the day they're dead. And what do we get? Nothing. Nothing. Bad test scores, everything. We get critical race theory, wokeness in our schools. Wants to give it back to the states. You decide. You come up with the right curriculum, education. And, of course, the people who get rich and the people who are changing Americans into these robots that we just talked about, they're livid because this is part of their brainwashing portfolio. Good. Clean it up. Clean it up. People sent the message. They wanted it cleaned up. People are starting to open their eyes, even in the most liberal of liberal places. California, folks, you know what that's like. That's a damn mess. Their voters out there this election, they voted to get rid of the $950 shoplifting deal.
Yeah.
Where you could go into a store, break every glass protective case they have and steal, and if it's under $950, they don't even go after you. Now they changed it, and they voted and changed. Now your second shoplifting charge in California is now a felony.
Good.
You want to know something else they did in California? Get this. California voters rejected their ballot measure that would have raised their state's minimum wage to $18 an hour. That's right. Bunch of whack jobs put that on the ballot. Minimum wage, $18 an hour. And guess what the California voters did? They rejected it. They turned it down. Can you believe it? In liberal California, turned it down. Now, there's a couple reasons why states do that. Number one, it's a tax increase. But you dumbasses that have gone through our school don't understand that when wages are increased, they support it because it's an increase in income tax revenue to their state.
Right.
They could give a rat's about you. And until you wake up and realize that, you're going to be behind. But the voters in California turned it down. It's breaking businesses. They can't afford that. Look what it did to the fast food industry in California, folks. $20 for all fast food workers. They've shut places down out there right and left. People were starting to wake up. Turned it down. Biggest expense for any business anywhere in America is labor. Look what Boeing had to do.
Yeah.
Boeing's going to lay off 17,000 workers because the others held a gun to their head, and we want a 38% raise in 4 years. Oh, well, because of that, 17,000 people are going to lose their jobs. They're going to have to cut their labor force in order to have the revenue to pay those extra salaries to the people who remain. But America's starting to wake up, and which is good. Starting to wake up. By the way, President-elect Trump picked Linda McMahon to be the Secretary of Education. She has to oversee that agency and will oversee them trying to dismantle it, give more power back to the states. And yesterday, President-elect Trump picked Dr. Oz to head the agency that oversees Medicare and Medicaid.
Oh, now I'm going to have to watch The View again today.
Dr. Oz, he ran for Senate in Pennsylvania, and some say he lost to Fetterman out there a couple years ago, and some people were questioning it. But Fetterman, though, lately has been an ally of the Republican Party, telling Democrats, wake up, you're dumb, you've done the wrong things. But Dr. Oz is going to oversee Medicare and Medicaid. That's the big health insurance program where there is total waste in that like you can't believe. So all these people getting put in place, this is going to be good. You know, we have efficiency directors now that are going to look at, they're going to cut trillions from the government. Folks, you and I, you're up this morning, you're busting your ass. You're like Mark and I. That alarm goes off at 3:30 in the morning, and my God, you hit it, and you just press on every day, and you let these people stick their hands in your back pocket and your wallet and take your money and spend it how they want while you're busting your ass, trying to get your family raised, save for your retirement, pay your house off, and you're doing this, and these people just, with no authority at all and no oversight, just keep spending your money and your dollars, and you're busting your ass. They got their life made. They got retirement till they're dead. They get an hour, hour and a half for lunch, this and that, and you're the one. You're the backbone of the country. You're the one doing it. Wasting all that money that you, and you know what? They don't teach our youth this. No, we need more programs. We need more this. You little pissant, you get out there and get a job at 16. Start working. Drives me crazy. They're going to cut into this stuff, make it more efficient. Work on a new tax deal, let you keep more of your money. How dare you think you have the right to take the money that I earn and spend it how you wish on your perks? Oh, screw you. You aren't hunting on my place either. But they're going to look into it and talk to any doctor out there. They'll tell you the paperwork and stuff involved in Medicare and Medicaid and what they pay and having the government, folks. Here's another one. Having the government determine what procedure you get. Well, they didn't analyze it. They didn't give you a physical. They didn't do the x-rays, do the scans, do the blood work. They weren't trained in any of that. And yet your doctor decides this is the best road of treatment for you to make you a healthy human being. And the government that all you buttheads voted for say, nope, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with some natural remedies first. Then we're going to send you to some physical therapy first. We're going to do all that first. This is what you do. But my doctor said this is what needs to be done. We don't give a rat's what your doctor said.
No.
We're the government. This is what you will do. And they've brainwashed people to believe that.
It's fun all month at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and Roadside Events Center. This Saturday, it's Glow Bingo with DJ Dave Austin, lights, music, and big prizes. Sunday, November 24th, more bingo action along with a cozy bread bowl with homemade soup. On Monday, the 25th, it's country music trivia, and on Friday, the 29th, grab a tag off the tree to help spread joy to children in Huntley Project. Plus, don't miss prime rib Saturdays and sushi and sliders Sunday nights. Take the short drive to Huntley, the Blue Cat, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
The obstetrician that delivered Mallory 35 years ago quit thereafter, shortly after. He said, I can't practice medicine anymore. This was in 1989. She was born in 1989. He quit. I'm quitting. He said, I'm 64 years old. I've been practicing medicine for, 30 years here doing this. I know what's best for my women patients. And he knew the difference, by the way, between a woman and a man. And he said, I'm sick of them telling me how to do things, what's best for my patients, and they don't know. And he quit. This is the kind of stuff we got to clean up. Overbearing governments. Folks, this is socialism that they're pushing. I love it yesterday. Love it, love it, love it yesterday. There's a transgender that was elected as a House member. And they want him, who thinks he's a her, to be able to use the women's restroom. And one of the Congresswomen, Nancy Mace of South Carolina, went ballistic.
Good.
And I am so proud of her. She said, I do not want a man in my restroom or my changing room or my room where the gym is undressing and dressing with all the women that we have here. We do not want men in women's bathrooms. And, of course, the libs went nuts. Blah, blah, blah. She said, look, I've been a victim of rape, sexual assault, and harassment. I still have PTSDs. We're not going to have men in women's bathrooms. And she goes, I will fight till the day I die to restore women's rights in America. Women's have rights, she said, to privacy, their own room. She goes, and we came all this way over all these years, establishing all these rights. And once again, folks, what party again is trying to deny women rights? It's once again is the Democrat Party. They didn't want them to vote. You can look in the suffragette movement. We've covered it. They didn't want them to vote there either. Now they don't want them to have their own privacy. And she said, I will fight. She's been threatened. She said, I don't care. You use a facility corresponding to your biological sex. Can you imagine a woman in there, in the gyms or whatever they have there, or getting dressed after a workout, and here comes this dude out of the shower with a schmeckle bouncing around, and all these women are in there? Folks, that's just not right.
No.
Well, he thinks he's a woman. Not right. 2 bathrooms, women's and everybody else.
Right. Solves it.
End of problem. This Title IX and advancements we've made in women's sports and the rights of women and everything, and now that? Hell, when you're married and you're a husband, if you walk into the bathroom when your wife's in there, oh my God, they'll rip you a new one. Get out of here. I mean, there's just some things,
right,
and that's one of them. Good for her. I was so proud of her last night. And then some poll from ABC News comes up and starts to try to really needle her, and she ripped his ass open. I loved every minute of it. You commie. Ripped him open. She said, I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in my restroom, my bathroom, my locker room, my changing room. And of course, the Democrats said, well, this is bullying, and it's a distraction. No, it's not. It's about women's rights. Mm-hmm. That's what it's about. If men have the right to have their own bathroom, then women should have the right to have their own bathroom, period. And a lot of these men, like Hakeem Jeffries, who brought all this up, he'd feel different if he was a woman.
Oh, yeah. Well, and this, this is not some upset parent at a school board meeting. This is somebody in a position of power.
This one Democrat says, what are they talking about? On day one member out of 435 is going where she is going to use the bathroom. Is that their focus? No. Their focus is about women's rights that you are destroying in America. Mm-hmm. That's what it's about. You prove that you're a she and you can get in there. There you go. When you fly, you have to prove who you are. Mm-hmm. When you vote, you got to prove who you are. Prove who you are. But good for her. Sticking up for women across the country. I'd love to have a discussion with my older sister about that. Oh, God, it'd be great. She was big on the Title IX thing and the advancements for women and all that. I'd love to get into it with her about that.
Yeah.
And see what she says. But we got some fighters, folks. Got some fighters going back there. I love it. People putting their foot down. That's what this was about. Putting their foot down. Taking our country, just like in California. You're not going to break any more businesses and make them close the doors. We're not voting for that. Just like the city council in Chicago, 15-0. We're not going to use all of our taxpayer dollars to house, educate, and give free money and phones to illegal immigrants when our people in Chicago are suffering. 15-0. The most liberal city council in the country almost. And they told the mayor, screw you. We're not going to do that to our people. Folks, it's happening. People were putting their foot down. It's about damn time. It's about time. That's what Trump's doing with all these appointments. Going to get people in there, going to mix it up. Government and efficiency groups. Get rid of that waste. Shut down the bureaucracy, the overinflated, bloated government that we're all paying for. Clean that up. Absolutely. Power to you. You need help? You got it here.
Yeah.
I'll help promote it. Love it. I love it. Hell, I haven't had a chance yet to even go in and see locally what we're doing. They were all upset about another stabbing down at the skateboard park here over the weekend, and they move one encampment and goes. Did you see the woman downstairs this morning when you came in? Was she sitting there? Well, you may not have noticed her. She was kind of in the corner over where the button is to open the door.
No, because I pushed the button. She wasn't there when I came in.
Oh, she wasn't?
No.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was sitting there warming up.
Well, we've got 2 sets of doors walking in the hotel, and you got to ring the doorbell to get in the second one to keep people like that out because that heater in that little area is an awesome heater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In between the doors there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Q2 website Says the Montana Department of Revenue staff told a legislative committee that next year's reappraisal cycle could produce a partial repeat of last year's jarring tax spike.
And is that because government is spending less or government is spending more?
Well, when Governor Gianforte was in the other day, he said that's one of the things he's going to ask them to do, lower the property taxes.
Gianforte said, headline today, he's going to try to cut income taxes. Critics say it fails to help working Montanans. But that's because you're a dumbass critic. That's why. You're stupid. You're stupid.
Somebody walked up to you and said, I'm going to get your taxes lowered. Well, I'm not going to accept that.
Yeah.
That doesn't help me.
I'm going to cut your power bill and your water bill. Oh, well, that's just stupid. That won't help working Montanans. You know why you're so stupid? Because you were indoctrinated. That's why you're so stupid. You're dumb. They're just morons. Stupid people. 50%, folks. They don't teach you that. 50%. You work every day. You work every day. And then from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, you get to keep the money you earn. The stuff that you made from 8 to noon, that all goes to the government first. Think of it that way. Every day, 8 to noon goes to government and all your taxes and fees first. Then 1 to 5 is what you keep. Explain it to our youth that way. See if they like it. Bet they don't. Bet they don't. Still working on the water bill problem.
They're going to send out another bill.
I know.
7 days after the last one. Talked to the public works director, and she said, well, this is not going to be easy to understand. Good morning and welcome to Understatement.
That's right. And isn't it funny? You got people saying, well, we need the revenue for programs and stuff. And those are the same people bitching and pissing and moaning about their water bill being high. That's a mess. And the water usage didn't change for them. So they're going to have to work that one out. That's a mess. Paid $75,000 for that audit. And last year, by the way, your property taxes, it saw the reappraisal raise them, your property value, by 40%, which means it produced about a 21% increase in your tax bill. So that happens again, you take another hit. We need a government efficiency committee here.
Yes, we do.
Is what we need. FWP. Just look at what they spend on stupid stuff. Someday you can ask us what that stands for. But outside of law enforcement and regulation during hunting seasons, some of the stuff they do is unbelievable. And every agency could take a cleansing in the state of Montana. Every single one could be cleansed and cleaned. I know I could. Folks, you know you could. Why can't government? Let me ask you this, folks. Let me ask you this question. If they said, we need you to cut your lighting down in your home by 5%. You got 100 light bulbs in your house. You have to run around and unscrew 5 of them. Could you survive and make it?
Yes.
Okay. What if they said, ladies and gentlemen, we need you to remove 5% from your grocery budget. You spend $100 a week, you need to take $5 out of that grocery budget. That's one less bag of Doritos. Oh, could you do that?
Of course.
Yes, you could. Ladies and gentlemen, we need you to cut $5 out of every $100 worth of gasoline that you buy. You need to cut that out. We need you to spend just $5 less. That's 1.5 gallons over the course of a month. Could you do it? Yes, you could. We all could. But damn it, our state government, we need you to cut 5% out of every single thing that you do. Could you do it? You damn right they could do it. But now they're talking property tax increases. Property tax increase. We can all do it. I can do it. Mark can do it. You folks can do it. Our state can do it. Our city can do it. Our national government can do it. And it's about damn time we start.
Yeah.
Or we'll never get ahead. That's why this is so exciting, what's coming. And we'll see if they can get it done. Hope so.
Yeah.
We all need it.
We do.
And you could take that extra 5%, put it in your retirement, put it in your account. Call the Flakes at 248-5665 and give us a little donation for Flakesgiving. I mean, that would help.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because you and I are in debt right now.
A big one.
By about $50,000. We got to get moving here.
Okay, first news coming up, 6:15.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Events Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.